And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to WAFC Rewind, the YCC 2020 edition. Tonight we'll be rewatching the 2018 pre-quarter game between DC Swing Vote and Oregon Flood. I'm pleased to have with us Oregon Flood coach Emily Witt. We've got Thalia Tsetsos from Oregon Flood 2018 and Leah Schwartz from DC Swing Vote. And we'll get started.
Coming out on defense, pulling upwind.
But yeah, it was pretty windy too, wasn't it? It wasn't just hot, it was windy too.
It was windy, yeah. So while we've got Coach Ewitt here, I wanted to just hear from her about that team's season in 2018 and kind of how the whole program went that year.
Yeah, so this was my first time really coaching a team, especially youth team. So I was new, learning along the way, and it was an interesting team too that was pretty geographically diverse. We had players in Bend, Oregon, Corvallis, Eugene, Portland. So those cities are all pretty far apart. So we had to figure out a way to have practices hours away with these players. So definitely a lot of on the fly figuring out logistics, which was stressful, but then we always had a good time and had fun.
Oh, nice catch.
From Adam Park gives them the early lead. That is 1-0 to Washington.
Well, that's some good background. Leah, it looked like Swing Vote definitely has their end zone set pretty well oiled. What was y'all's end zone set?
It was very basic. Like you can see there's a poach there because it's not very hard to decipher. It was just a front of the stack ISO and like everybody else backing up enough to give them space. It worked. I think it works in general a lot better when we had that lucky turn right outside the end zone, so we had some time to get set up, but later in the game it gets kind of messy. But it was a good, that one was really clean.
Oh,
is that the downwind direction? I think that's the downwind direction, right? Just for the rest of the game. Yeah,
that was definitely the end zone that you're all trying to score in.
Yeah, because you can't really tell, but there are a lot of turns from Hawks in that end zone because the disc would drop really suddenly. And anybody hasn't been to YCCs or played in Minnesota, the wind is really, really gusty. So like you'll throw something and it'll be pretty consistent, and then it'll just like drop or it'll really pick up at the end.
Nice, 2 easy scores. Coming right out blazing. So Leah, tell us about your guys's like kind of run up into this game. What had happened right before this game for Swing Vote?
Yeah, funny story. I guess it's the opposite experiences for the two teams, right? So we were in a power pool. We played power line first, and then we played bankroll second, and those were 2 games on the first day, which is those were the 2 teams that ended up going to the finals, so not an easy start. We barely scored against both those teams. And then this was the second game of the day, so this game was really hot. It was noon or something. But right before this, we'd played a game that was not as close as it should have. Got destroyed. And I think that was really like our mentality was so down because Powerline wasn't really a well-known team, and then obviously Seattle's good, but we just gotten crushed the first day, and you're like, oh, are we just gonna get creamed this whole tournament? We had like no idea, or at least I didn't. It was my first time at YCCs as a freshman, so that was kind of, we made a conscious effort to be really upbeat and just kind of have fun for this game. And I think that really played a big role in how we were able to get a good start.
Yeah, in the YouTube version of this game, the swing vote sideline is very loud. You can hear the swing vote sideline, and then you hear Cyrus Linkfield of Oregon Flood in the background. Those are the two main voices you hear.
Yeah, we had a bunch of cheers, and some of the Rogue girls came to help support us. So we had a lot of good voices cheering us on.
And Ewit and Thalia, what about you guys? What was the kind of feeling of the team like leading into this game? Y'all had just won a couple games, right?
Yeah, so we just come off of a winning streak. We won a bunch of our games, and we didn't realize we were going to be televised. So showing up to the field, we thought it was the wrong field for a little bit, but showing up to the field and having all the stands it was a little nerve-wracking, thinking that, oh goodness, we need to really be on top of our game. But we had just come off a bunch of wins, so our mentality was a little different than swing votes being like, okay guys, we gotta do this. It was a little bit different than theirs. So
Ewit, I know we have to let you go soon, but any key moments from coaching that year that kind of stick out in your mind as memories?
You know, for our practices, there's only a couple times that we ever got to play 7-on-7 because we had such low numbers. So, you know, this tournament was really, you know, where we were able to, you know, figure out the offense really well. And luckily we really committed to an offense that highlighted the players with getting into power positions and trying to get the disc downfield. And I think that just played well to commit to that strategy. And you'll see that here, see some pretty awesome plays by everyone on the team and really moving the disc effectively. So it was awesome to see kind of be the underdogs that just took control.
Yeah, because a lot of these players hadn't necessarily played together before since they're from all over the state. So getting to compete, this is their first time really competing at a high level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It was fun to go in with kind of really no expectations. We just kind of came to compete and just, you know, be a team and see what could happen.
Yeah, I remember I think I was live tweeting everything that weekend, and it was just fun. The team, what were some of the dances you guys did, Thalia? You guys had some like fun warm-up dances and pump-up speeches, really silly stuff.
The Macarena, cha-cha slide. I think we did Keep It Shuffle, and we would play the princess, bear, or boat. You had to like jump into somebody's arms, so you'd call out a kind of action and you had to be the action. So like princess, someone had to jump into your arms. Boat, you had to like pretend to row a boat with 3 people. I don't know, just little things.
That's fun.
Wait, Talia, maybe you can help me. There's a timeout later in this game, and then everybody just starts rolling, but it's not like snakes and whatever that game is. It's not that one, but like both of the teams start playing, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Do you remember what it was?
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, you start rolling?
Yeah.
Like wait.
You're like on the ground, like rolling around.
I don't remember.
There was a hit the deck game. There was some sort of like ship-based game.
Yeah.
Kind of like the deck, that kind of thing. Captain's coming. I don't remember. Yeah. I know we probably did rock, paper, scissors splits at some point.
Misty.
That is Caleb Campbell wearing the 00 jersey, channeling his inner Goose Helton.
I do want to interrupt and note that just a second ago at the beginning of this point, there was an offsides, and that will be key later in the game, that there was an offsides that happened.
This is also definitely our first game with observers and even really knowing what the observers rules were. So that was a pretty big shift for us as well in the game.
Yeah, because I think at YCCs they're technically instructional observers, so they don't make any calls. They do the time and maybe can tell you in or out of bounds. But for offsides calls, would they just like recommend to a team to call it? Is that kind of how it goes?
They're on the side of the team pulling, and then they raise your hand, and it's up to you to recognize, or it's up to the other team to notice that and then call it. So we had some, fortunately for me, because I definitely didn't notice, but we had observant people on the side on our team who like noticed that the observer, I think they just like raise their hand or they somehow signal it to you.
Gotcha. Oh, I love this point, Leah, you like playing in the zone O, like they really should throw it to you more than they do.
Yeah. That was down. I you can't see me, but I said it was down too. I think he caught it before it hit the ground, but I think it bounced and he caught it again. I think so.
That must be what happened.
I thought it was down. It was a good catch though. Or it was a good bid, but I think it was.
Because I paused it and rewatched it, and the disc definitely hit the ground, but somehow, it pops back up and gets in his hand.
I think it's one of those where you catch it before, like it's bounced and then you catch it, so it feels like you caught it before it hit the ground, you know? And it was a good bid. Oh, very clumsy. Your zone was really effective, but I think you mostly use the zone going downwind. Was that?
We don't really know. We hadn't had much of a playing style before this since we hadn't played together, so it was kind of just what we were feeling at the moment, I guess.
Nice punt, Leah.
The throw it to Will Tober, who's 6'8".
You had two great throws. You had that like blade, like
thank you.
Swing pass, like, unconventional swing pass, and then you had this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun watching that matchup because Will's 6'8", and like the two deeps battling it out was really fun to watch throughout.
So who is that who pulled it? Because he's pretty critical in the second half of the game, kind of running your guys' offense.
Yeah, Jonah Lee. He was kind of our quarterback. We had pretty strict O-line, D-line the first day, and we kind of switched it up. I think this game, maybe the game before. So yeah, he and I were playing O-line primarily the day before, and we played a couple of D-line points this game. So we were like you were saying, Talia, we were just still trying to kind of figure out what our game plan was and which lines worked best in what situations. Oh, I think this might be the point. Oh no, it's not. But yeah, we were definitely still trying to get a feel of who did what best.
Mm-hmm.
And he has great throws.
Nice catch. Well, with that, we'll say thanks to Ewit for joining us for a bit. Thanks, Coach Ewit, and have a good night. We will see what happens the rest of this game.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good one, all.
Talia, you've had 100% of the scores so far, right?
No, I think there was one, but
there was one more.
Cyrus had the first one.
Oh, okay.
And Jerry.
Close to 100%. Yeah, we kept trying to switch people onto you, and you're so fast. It was really terrible trying to cover you in the end zone. The drone view is so cool in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Caleb.
I think we were throwing an FM at this point because we were just trying to stop your hucks.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we were doing it up, but yeah, we were playing a lot of FM, especially when we were starting on defense to try to just, because your first throws were so good. And I guess we were just trying to kind of clog that a little bit and slow your offense down.
enjoying that matchup. Oh, crossfield pass.
Can he get there?
Oh, great intercept from Swingvo to gather up that wayward pass. I'm not entirely sure.
Dolly, do you know where some of these players are now? Like Jerry and Caleb. Jerry's on the mark, I think.
Yeah, I know that's Aiden Callahan.
Oh, okay.
I think Caleb is, I think he's still in Bend. Jerry, I don't know where Jerry is. And yeah, we haven't, so because they graduated either last year or 2 years ago, we haven't been able to keep in touch a lot.
But the rest of this team was pretty young, huh? I mean, you were 15 when you played on this squad, and a lot of other folks were too, huh?
And then a lot of us continued, a lot of the girls on the team, we all played downpour together last year. So it was nice to have some continuation.
Nice. And that was Oregon's first girls team that it sent to YCCs, I believe.
Second.
Or second.
Yeah.
They're up now 4-3.
I think it's kind of cool. The two teams were in different pools, so we didn't see you. We'd never seen you all play, or at least not, or we hadn't seen you all play this tournament. And because this was the first game of bracket, we didn't know who we'd be playing until right before. Like you said, like we showed up at the fields and we were like, are we in the right place? Like, who are we playing? So I think the first couple of points we were really still trying to figure each other out. We didn't really know what we hadn't seen you all play, or you hadn't seen us play. So it was, which was unusual, I think, at YCCs. A lot of times, you know, you send the parents out to scout, or, you know, you get to, because there's so many games, you kind of get a feel a little bit for what the team's going to look like, the opponent's going to look like, but we didn't really have an idea for you all.
See it again. There it is.
I think we had kind of a similar end zone set, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, looks like it.
So I think that was Oregon's second break in a row. They got 2 breaks in a row at least, or maybe 3.
Yeah, that one was a drop pull. That was a fast break.
Oh, yeah.
And we see that cup D again.
Here's the cup. A lot of tall players in the front. They try to jack it over the top and left.
He's so tall.
The tall man, William Tober. Not the person you want to leave alone in the end zone.
It was actually kind of ironic. I think it's a little bit confusing in the beginning because we had a offense play called Flood. So for them, like, it was, everybody would scream it on the sidelines, and it'd be kind of confusing in the beginning. Like, we weren't sure if it was which team it was. So that's something I remember.
Did you have to change the name of that play?
No, I think it kind of stopped because you guys started playing with the zone, so we didn't get to use it as much. But I think we just kept calling it the same thing.
Quite a stark difference to the flood sidelines.
Where do all the water names, like downpour, flood, where did your names come from?
We've always been like natural disasters. So and then our boys U17 team was eruption, and our boys U20 team was avalanche, or I guess downpour's not a natural disaster, but we've always been kind of nature-oriented team names, I guess. So, and then U17 girls a few years ago was Ash. So.
Cool.
Well, so flood, there was a big flood. It started with an M, the name for the flood, but that's what created the Columbia Gorge. Oh, what happened?
That's me getting beat by like 30 yards by Cyrus.
Yeah, but she doesn't catch it.
But you can see it from the drone. It's there's definitely at least 20 yards. Oh God. Oh, CC boxed out so well here. She's not tall too. She just read it really well. We were so excited every time we scored because we weren't used to it too. So that was kind of my main impression of this game, is we just had a lot of fun. Oh gosh.
Holds position, gets the disc and gets the assist as well.
Yeah, Leah, you were saying because the last games that y'all had played maybe hadn't gone so well, you saved up some of your spirit prizes.
Oh yeah. Talia, did you gave you a spirit prize, didn't we?
Yes, I got a
Yeah.
ball.
Oh yeah, no, I was kind of half joking, but maybe everyone else can relate to this as well. You know, you get the spirit prizes that you planned on buying and you're really excited about. So, you know, you get a couple of good gifts. So then the rest, you realize you're going to play a ton of games and you need to give more than just, you know, one spirit prize to each team. So then you kind of stock up on candy at the Target or whatever. So I think I just remember this game being a really fun game, and there's a lot of it was a spirited game, so I think we gave you guys the good spirit prizes. So yeah, we were playing, I think it was nice catch. It was kind of a side stock that would change sides and then eventually transitioned into a vert. And so your zone really stopped at the first couple of points. So we're still trying to figure out, you know, what defenses you all were playing, and how to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because is this straight person or is it kind of like a saggy and tight on the dump handler defense?
I think we were trying to play more person, but things probably got lost in communication, and we ended up doing.
It looks like it's working.
A lot of the team up players were very fast, so it was hard to keep up with a lot of them.
Yeah, very athletic. Jonah Lee, is he of the Lee?
Yes, family? Of the Lee clan.
The Lee clan. There are a bunch of other.
It's such a good throw.
Avid Frisbee players in the Lee family. Isaac Lee, I think Elijah Lee played in our middle school league. Isaac coached our middle school league.
Yeah.
Jonah must be the oldest, huh?
Not the oldest.
Second oldest.
Yeah, they're third, maybe? I don't know what we're doing here. We're just getting as close to the disc as we possibly can. There are 6 people crowding the disc.
So Swingvo just called a timeout. Leah, what did y'all talk about during this timeout? Because something worked, I think.
I think we were just having a really hard time moving or having any kind of rhythm on the offense. We were just really stagnant. We kept looking downfield and wouldn't really turn around until the last second. So the other handlers, probably myself included, were getting really anxious and we kept crowding the disc. So it was just making it really hard to move. So Adam, being the very intelligent player he is, I think called that timeout to kind of make sure we had a better structure in general and actually let us set up instead of just trying to force the disc in small spaces.
Oh, here we go.
Here you go, laying down.
Why are we?
I don't know. I don't know what this is.
I don't remember rolling on the ground.
I was in the time. I don't think I even noticed, but I was looking at this earlier today and I could not remember what the game was.
It does look a bit warm and sunny.
It was so hot.
There's Emmett on the mark.
I think we turn it. Not to spoil. Not for. Oh, no. This is really lucky.
Oh,
So
was that
lucky.
Cyrus trying to bid
I think so.
on the D?
Okay, we're gonna say that was the game plan.
No, it was Caleb.
Caleb.
Mhm.
Y'all had some really good bids on all your offenses, on offense and defense.
It was a lot of Caleb. He kind of just throws his body around.
That was kind of Adam on our side too. That was a really fun matchup. Just people
Yeah.
flying left and right.
Oh yeah.
What kind of were you running? Speaking of concussions, I think he got a concussion from that.
What was he? Can we send it back? Can we rewind a little bit, Fred? I want to see what that person was laying out for.
He got tripped.
Oh, it looked
Yeah.
like he was,
So- When they planted,
Oh, bummer.
tripped and smashed his head on the ground, I think.
Oh no. Now I feel bad for sending it back.
So yeah, there's an injury call here. That nobody notices. I think, or yeah.
You still can with the Amtrak. That being said,
It's a hard fall when you're running full distance and you're not running full speed and you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Great read and positioning. Gets this for swing vote. Being patient, not looking at the end zone straight away. Now the cut comes, this one very high. And that is a high mismatch. And Gunter gets his
Natasha.
Was that Kira who was about to catch that? But
Yeah, it was Kira and Natasha, who aren't the tallest, and then Gunter, who, to his credit, is very careful. Like, you can see how, like, he was watching to make sure he didn't run through anybody, which, as a short woman, I appreciate. Who plays mixed, I really appreciate that, because I've definitely gotten slammed into from the back. Yeah, you're
Quick
fearless with your
point.
pucks. That's a really good throw upwind. You said there are people from all different regions of Oregon. Were there like particular people who had really good chemistry with each other because they usually play together, or was it just everybody trying to figure it out?
A lot of the Portland players had really good chemistry. So me, Kayali, Cyrus, Rachel, and Natasha, because we all played together a lot more. And then there were a lot of players from Corvallis. Devin, Claire, who now goes by Cyrus, so Cyrus, at Aiden Callahan, and I think that was all from Corvallis. And they all had really good chemistry, so we try to put them on some of the same lines so that we could try to work with that chemistry, since we didn't have it as a whole team quite yet. So.
Yeah, we had similar issues though. We were all in a pretty close region in general. So we had a lot of people, but it'd be like 2 or 3 or 4 people from one high school, so not quite enough to form a line with. But I think in general, everybody is much more comfortable covering each other because we always do in our high school scrimmages or whatever. So you know how to cover them, but you're not sure how to throw to them. That was kind of it's always a common theme for the first month of YCC practices, I feel like. Game to 15, right? So this is the 4 half.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, half at 8.
Can't tell if they know if they're setting up a zone or not.
Looks like some people are. I'm not sure if everyone is though.
4 handlers back. What are we doing?
You can kind of hear the commentators trying to figure out what defense Flood is running. I will have to say that I'm not sure if the commentators come from Ultimate. One of them is definitely, I think they understand the gist of the sport, but but it looks kind of junky, Thalia.
Yeah. We're just trying to put people places and see what happens.
We weren't sure how to play offense against it either, so it worked. You can see here we're not sure if we're in a hoe stack or if we're in a vert, because we want to go vert since we're close to the end zone, or I don't know. People are still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. We had
A
to
couple of your handlers know the right way to get the momentum going. It's just like the throw and go. Oh, this. Oh. So Kayali, the 6'4" person, ran into 99 Cyrus Lingfield, the coach's kid, who was just standing on the sideline and didn't move as Kayali came barreling towards the sideline. Kayali said he thinks he got her elbow to the stomach. Got his
he seemed more injured than she did.
We have a picture of Cyrus standing on the sideline and Kayali's just laying out right in front of her, and I think it was another time where he ran into her. So.
And poor Kayali, he was supposed to join us on the call tonight on the event, but he's amazing and is coaching summer camp, ultimate summer camp, as is Thalia, and got hit with a disc from an errant disc from one of the campers. So he's out with a mild concussion today. But that's so great that you guys are coaching ultimate camp, Thalia. What's it like in coaching camp in the time of COVID?
It's very different. We all wear masks all the time and everything is spaced out, and we can't do scrimmages, but we play Galaxy Wars and double disc court, and we find ways to work around it. And the campers actually really enjoy it, and it's really nice to have some structure back into my life. So I look forward to doing that. Yeah. And this is my third week of coaching camp.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Is DC doing any like summer camp kind of stuff?
WAFC has not historically done camps as far as I know. I know that American Ultimate Academy have had camps, and Capital Ultimate Camp also have camps in the DC area.
Okay.
I have not heard of anyone doing in-person camps in Ultimate. I know that there's some other like big soccer companies and other things doing in-person social distance camps. One that even offered to come, like if you can get 10 kids from your neighborhood together, they would come to your backyard and offer the camp. I was like, I don't know if we're big enough for that. But so I used to be the youth director in Portland, and I remember running those camps, and it was great. We got to add one camp every summer, a week of camp, and each week it was at a different park, and it was so great. And having people like Thalia and Kayali come and coach the camp. And now there's Sarah, who's my replacement youth director, who's running the show. So I told her to send me some of the stuff that y'all are doing at camp. It sounds really fun.
Yeah.
We played you last year. How many of the Flood people were the same? Because I didn't recognize many people.
It was almost a brand new team because all of the girls from 2018 Flood went to Downpour in 2019.
Yeah.
So pretty much all of the ladies were different because we left, and yeah, a lot of people aged out, so they couldn't play. So, and the Flood 2019 team was kind of a Corvallis team that when it's flood, it wasn't as much of a like state tryout kind of thing.
The defensive players there as it tears down, chasing the pull.
Did you play mixed last year, Leah?
Yeah, I played swing both years. I don't know what I would have done this year, but I played swing both years.
Yeah.
And I think we lost on Universe last year, so we would have had a rubber match this year. Yeah, it was exciting last year. It's a weird game. It was kind of the opposite of this game. It was weirdly cold, I think, and it was also windy, but we were in the back corner, across the road from the stadium where nobody goes. There's literally like all those bushes separating you from everyone. Like you can't see the rest of like humanity. It's so bad. We were in the middle of nowhere. You like have to literally drive to get there. You can't even walk over. I mean, you can, but it's like a 10-minute walk from the rest of the fields, and it was so sad.
I don't think I've seen those fields before.
It's like, yeah. If to the left of the screen, you know how there's the other, and then further past that towards the stadium, there's just like two fields in the middle of nowhere. It was really sad. It was kind of funny though. So it's the opposite of our live stream with 2 cameras and a drone. The opposite was kind of it kind of felt like in a forest clearing or something. Big fakes. Oh, he got sat on.
So Thalia, Flood was down 8-7 at half, right? And you said that you had a player, a teammate come out and give like a really good halftime pump up speech. What was that?
I don't remember as much. I think it was Kayali who brought that up. But I think they were talking about how it was a good place to be because you were coming into the second half with a little mindset of like, we need to work really hard for this. But I kind of don't remember a lot of the game. It's once you get in the moment, it's like, you don't know it. Kind of forget
what happened.
Things. Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think Callie said that Tori gave a good pump up speech, and we'll see Tori again. I think Anne Marie throws to him a lot in the end zone, but Tori said that down 8-7, the other team kind of thinks they're up, but they're only up by 1 point or not, or it might have been even on serve. And then I think you guys came out and scored the first point coming out of half, but now Swing Vote is about to go on a break train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we got a break out of half, maybe.
Oh, nice.
The drone view's really cool.
Yeah. You can definitely see the distance and like how large the field is and all of that a lot better.
Yeah, and what kind of offense the teams are running and stuff. Yeah.
Kind of like whiteboard view when you're coaching and trying to write it out on the whiteboard.
So it's really bad if, like me, there's one where you get burnt deep because, if it's this angle, you can't really tell the distance. But in the drone, you can. Oh, wow.
Here's Caleb throwing himself around more.
That was an impressive bid. When lefties step out, it always looks to me like it's a travel for the first step. It just looks so unnatural. Were you also throwing an FM here? It kind of looks like a force middle.
I think so.
Upwind break. That's always critical in a day like this.
That was a nice throw.
Mm-hmm.
Using that break side very effectively. The left-handed player always wants to
There's Caleb again.
Again.
Leah, speaking of blacking out and not remembering the game, I heard you were maybe not totally with it, but you had just come from playing Worlds with your mom. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, there's Worlds, but that was a couple of weeks. That was almost a month back, but the week before was Masters Worlds, and my mom played at that. And I don't know what it is about Winnipeg, but I got really, really sick, and I don't usually remember the games I play all that well. I don't know if ever that happens to you too. I don't really remember much from the games. If I watch it back, I'll be like, oh yeah, I did throw it away there, but I don't really kind of black out while I'm playing. But I think I have a better excuse this time, which is that I got Canadian sick.
Canadian sick. Let's not blame it on the Canadians. Nice. Another break for DC. Winnipeg. I remember Winnipeg. Winnipeg was my first away tournament as a high school player in Minnesota. We drove up to Winnipeg.
That's a far.
Yeah. We had to like cross the border. It was a whole thing. It was very exciting for a 16-year-old.
Oh yeah. Our away tournaments are always to, I don't know what it is about New Jersey, but they're always to New Jersey. Yeah, last year, I think, in the fall, or so 2019 in the fall, or 2018 in the fall, I think I had 3 weekends back to back where with different teams. I had a high school or college tournament in New Jersey. We were traveling to New Jersey so much. We were like, oh, this is that cafe that we went to last weekend.
Wow.
But you were saying Westerns, was that the tournament?
Yeah. So it's a lot of the teams in the West. They'll come up to, I think we had it in Portland. Oh, there's Kayali. We had it in Portland, and we just, I don't know how it works, but we played this year. We played as Flood, or like a janky remixed Flood kind of thing. We played against a California team, and then Corvallis, who are a lot of the players on this Flood team. We're on the Corvallis team, so we played against them. Yeah.
So it's the actual YC. Well, what happens don't you have a lot of seniors who usually age out if it's in the fall? You just play without them, or?
Yeah, I think if they aged out, then they couldn't play with us. Which, I mean, it was kind of like, it wasn't nice, but we didn't have a lot of seniors on this team, so it was able to be a lot of the same people in Western. So.
Makes sense.
And so do you guys have something like that on the East Coast?
No, we usually play one fun. Jeff, who was the head coach for YCCs last year and the year before, and I think the year before that too, at least as much as I've played swing, he always makes sure we get to go to a fun college tournament. He's really great about, like keeping up this, the team spirit. We had last year, this isn't 2018, but in 2019, we made kind of like posters, not posters, but it's like his face, and then we had a little thing to hold it onto, and those were like our cheering stuff. Great. So we usually have a lot of team love, and so even we go to a college tournament at the end of the summer or something and try to get everybody who's graduated to like come up too, so we can play one more time. You can see us trying to transition to a vert from a horizontal stack here. Will's so tall. There's a clip later in the game of me talking to him on the line, and I come up to like here on him. It's really, he's almost 2 feet taller than I am.
Oh my goodness.
6'8"? Wow.
6'8", I'm 5'1", like a foot and a half taller than I am.
Do you guys make a comeback, Thalia?
I think so. Yeah. Again, I don't remember a lot of it.
Which is really impressive because you were down on numbers. It's always hard to make a comeback when it's this warm out and you're down on numbers. Ooh, that's such a
nice catch.
That's Sam. He aged
Sam
out.
McCarty.
He didn't play Flood 2019.
Well, because did he go to Carleton the year after? Because he was
Yeah.
maybe a senior that year.
Yeah. Him and Michael both went together.
Oh, cool. Michael Dreger.
Yeah, he's another player on the team. He has a baseball cap on backwards. That's all tan. When the eruption team shows up, I think they're the ones who help us with our comeback.
That's the U17 boys team out of Oregon.
Yeah, and then I was coaching with Emmett today, who's in the Orange Visor. He's also coaching the summer camps.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's a good crew. You, Kayali, and Emmett.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Kabiri, you feel like if they're going to get back in this game, now is the time. Campbell grinding up line, pick called.
Travel, I think, not pick. It's kind of cool. Both of the teams are kind of using the hand signals.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Thalia, have you always played with gloves?
Not a lot. I did because my hands get cold very quickly because they're like little spindly fingers. Not little, but they're very spindly. So I play with gloves because I like them. You feel a little
Warm hands. Easier to catch with.
Yeah, but I don't play with gloves anymore. I don't know what happened, but in my time off with my injury, I guess I just stopped playing with gloves.
Oh yeah, so you said you tore your ACL. Was that last season?
I tore my ACL last March, and I was out for last year's YCC, but I still went and supported. And,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, I got cleared, like doctor cleared, this March, and then everything was canceled. Oh.
Yeah. Darn.
I got to play some in November though, with just a PT clearance, which was nice. I was able to go to tryouts in November and still compete in some of the fall tournaments.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice throw from Natasha. So Natasha graduated. Yeah, is she going to one of the Oregon schools?
She's at University of Oregon right now.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
Did she play with them?
Yes.
Cool.
I think Gunter, he's blonde in the red headband, he's also at Oregon.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There's Natasha.
They have a good Frisbee program.
Yeah. So that's cool. It's kind of like an intersection for the two teams.
Go Ducks.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now you're tying it back up. So did you have some main people who are always in your cup, Thalia?
Yes. We had a lot of our really speedy people who could throw their bodies around, like Caleb, Emmett, Rachel was in the cup, and Ethan. They were usually our go-to cup people just because they're really good at playing the cup. And then Cyrus and I would usually be wings, and then Kaylee, of course, would be deep because
Nice.
Yeah.
Claire had the disc just then, or she just gave it to me, but she played Rogue. Oh gosh. Oh. Yikes. That's hard to watch. Oh, what was I saying? I was just saying Claire is at Chicago now, but she has really big throws, and it's always a nice catch. It's always cool when you play mixed and you have the women who also have really big throws and they can put it to the guys as well. That like always creates a fun dynamic instead of having it, one directional. Natasha threw that great throw the point before this, and so it's always fun to see teams where it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thalia. I remember, did you have a nickname, Lobster?
Yes.
Tell us about that nickname.
I got it in 7th grade from Jay. He's the Oregon Eruption coach, and he's been my coach since I started playing. He gave it to me, the nickname, in 7th grade at a spring league thing run by Strat, and it stuck all through high school and middle school. And I've met some coaches who didn't know my actual name. They only knew me as Lobster. I had to introduce myself as Thalia as well. But yeah, no, that nickname I'm very surprised that it stuck as long as it did.
Because you got good hands?
Apparently.
Good claws? Oh, nice.
Nice. I think that was Jonah. Is that? Yeah. Also, I just realized that there are 3 offsides. I don't know why I thought it was just the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to make that transition, Bryn. It's hard to make that transition to like playing without observers to playing with observers.
Here, I'm at this game live tweeting it for all the parents back in Oregon.
I think I went through those a while ago in the Flood group chat. I went through all of the tweets. I was like, okay,
Nice.
I remember this.
I somehow was trying to do like the play-by-play with everyone's like full name. That was probably silly.
That's hard. That's hard to do. You got to know everybody really well, because then it's really awkward if you can't remember the last name of someone, if you've done everybody else's full name.
Well, good thing Flood was so small. Like,
Yeah.
I knew all the players. Game to 15, yeah?
I think it becomes a game to 14.
Yeah.
So
That's what
here,
it says.
Flood has you rally or swing vote slacks off.
I think one thing we were talking about when we were watching this game back is we were like, we need to get the disc off a lot faster, because a lot of the time we'd have open people, but the throwers would kind of just idle with the disc a bit longer than was needed. And so that was a big thing for us. We needed to really think about getting it off quickly to the first person that was open, rather than just trying to wait for the best shot.
First open pass. That's a good rule of thumb.
I think this is the play that was called Flood. So everybody on the sideline would be screaming Flood on both Rogue on both swing vote and Flood sidelines.
Is it a flood, like flooding to one sideline and then an ISO into the middle of the field?
Kind of. It was when you swing the disc and the whole sideline switches sides. Sorry, the whole side stack switches sides, but it's as the disc. So it's not just like about the ISO player, but it's like as the disc swings.
Mm-hmm.
When it worked really well, and when it didn't work, it was disastrous.
Well, you seem to have mastered it by this game.
I don't know about that, but we had really good handlers. We had, Ben, Chris, Jonah. They're all really good about moving the disc and trying to, especially because y'all had that really intimidating cup with the long arms and the super quick people Caleb, right? Who was not afraid of throwing himself at the disc. So we were working on trying to move the disc as much as we could.
Kind of a cheer battle going on the sideline here. But it all matters what happens on the field. Onside for that pull, which rolls out of bounds, will be taken on the near sideline.
Can you pick? Is that allowed? If it like rolls out and then comes back in?
I don't know.
What's your question?
It rolled out and then came back in, and we gained yards off of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's.
And then you pick it up there. Can you do that?
I'm pretty sure you have to take it back to where it went out. If it landed inbounds and then rolled out, you take it back in where it touched last. But someone would have had to call that.
Maybe the flood coach getting a little too vocal. Maybe should let the players decide, getting caught up in the heat of the moment. But it was the right call. You can see how invested these coaches are, Brian Linkfield, in this game.
In it to win it.
I hear the commentators talking about the coaches. I realize I haven't asked about y'all's other coaches. Currently, they're talking about the Linkfield. So along with Ewit, who joined us at the beginning, who are your other coaches, Thalia?
We had Brian and Dara Linkfield, Cyrus's parents. And they
Nice.
also
So they were
coached
all a
our-
crew.
Yeah.
Great give go. Campbell now.
And Brian did a lot of the on-field coaching. He was kind of in the huddles and the timeouts. Is that right?
Maybe a call on the field. Not sure what happened. Maybe a
That's a
kick
good
earlier
bid
on.
from Adam.
We saw some of the flood players already flooding the field.
That matchup was so fun because they're laying out so, like, both of them would lay out so much that that was a really fun matchup.
Yeah.
What about the swing coaches? Who all did you have this year in 2018?
Yeah, so 2018, 2019, we had Jeff, we had Geoff, we had Adrian, and we had Asako. And so they're great coaches and super enthusiastic, and they did a really good job of making sure we, had fun, which is not easy after having the first and second day that we did. And so I think the fact that we did so well in this game is a testament to how well they, kept up our spirits. And Jeff especially is very good at encouraging huddle talks. I think that's a skill, being able to give like the speech in the huddle. It's not easy. And he's very good at them.
The pump up speech. Oh, here we go. This is it.
I don't think
This
none
is
of us knew
this is the moment.
I don't think we knew at this point.
The pull.
Brian was coming over and talking to us, and he goes, "Was that universe point?" And we're like, "Yeah."
Offside.
Brian asked if it was universe point.
We didn't know in the moment. We
I
didn't know
knew.
it was universe. So yeah. And
Yeah,
then
we are confused too because it was game to 14 because the horn blew, but it should have been a game to 15, so it was kind of confusing.
So for the audience, can you two both now explain the rule and what happened?
So we had, in the beginning, we had an offsides call in the first half of the game, and that was flooded, and that was our warning offsides. And so just now we had our second offsides, which we actually had a penalty for, which was they got to start at half field. And then I don't know why we came in a zone. Probably because, that was something we still talk about.
So you guys came in at half field, not the reverse brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not yeah.
You're not sure if that's the rule? I'm not sure if that's the rule either. I actually
feel like
think it
maybe
should be
the
one of the
rules
brick marks.
changed, but I feel like now, at least now, I think you're supposed to come in at the reverse brick.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
That was it. That's it.
We were all kind of surprised, like we didn't really understand what was happening. You're like, oh wait, we won? We won? I think we were really surprised. But it was such a fun game, and it was so well spirited.
Yeah.
Like you could tell, even the calls that did happen were very amicably resolved,
Yeah.
And then we gave good spirit prizes to celebrate.
And I think I still have somewhere. I kind of just have a collection of spirit prizes in my room. I got a toilet plunger once. That was an interesting one. I got it from the Summit team in Oregon. I got a toilet plunger. Yeah. Probably my weirdest one.
I got bubbles, which was really cute. They were really fun. And then we ended up using them like the whole sideline, which is kind of gross, I guess, but it was pre-COVID. It was pre-COVID, so it was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really
And all of this is kind of just Caleb laying out.
Oof.
Caleb, it's just like Caleb and Adam laying out.
Yeah, just the two of them. Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha. Yeah, Gunter.
Do y'all remember any teammates you really enjoyed playing with? Teammates that kind of brought you up and brought the whole team up?
Iris.
Cyrus?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She can pump anybody up from any situation.
For me, we had battle buddies. And my battle buddy was Alex Jones, he was also a handler on my line a lot. So he played the next year too. So he was always I have a funny story. He saved me I think it was it might have been this day. I left my cleats in the lobby and he grabbed them for me and he was sitting next to me on the bus and I started panicking because I was going through all my bags saying, oh my God, I've lost my cleats. I need to, because we were on this big shuttle and the whole team was half the team was on the shuttle. So I was totally panicking. And then after letting me panic for 5 minutes, he just pulled them out of, or it was like 2 minutes, but he pulled them out of his bag.
Oh my God.
But I went into full panic before he was kind enough to tell me that he grabbed them in the lobby.
Looking out for you, but watching you struggle first.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was very memorable. But all the handlers were so great because it was my first YCCs as a freshman and I just moved back from Singapore. So it was my first really competitive youth tournament. So it was really cool everybody was so supportive and kind and had a really good time. It was really fun.
And did Flood continue on after this year? Did Swing Vote continue on? Was it a different iteration of the team in 2019?
Flood, we stayed a team until Westerns and we played together there, but since we didn't really play together other than that, since we were all from different teams within Oregon, we split off and went back to our other teams. And then a lot of the bigger tournaments were single gender tournaments, so we didn't get to play a lot together within Oregon. So after Westerns, we kind of fizzled out.
For Swing, yeah, we played that fun college tournament, but I think this exact team, was the very different team the next year. The handler core was kind of similar, but I think I was the only girl who played both years. And I think I was just thinking about it. I think I might be the only one or one of two players who will be eligible next year or who's like left who didn't graduate this year from that 2018 Swing Vote team. So that's kind of bittersweet.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, because I was a freshman and I think I might have been the youngest player. Mm-hmm. I know Margot's an 8th grader, so she's younger than me, but she played Force that year and she played Rogue the next year, so she's still eligible, but I think on Swing Vote I might have been the only person who's still left. Yeah, sad.
What do you think you'll play next year, assuming there is a next year, 2021?
I don't know. No, don't get me.
No spoilers? No?
Always the debate every single spring. Fred, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
What do y'all think 2021 holds in store for Oregon or DC Youth Ultimate? What do you think's next year?
I know Portland Ultimate, we're planning on doing more camps, like since school's planning to be online, we're planning to do either afternoon or morning camps so kids can after school come play Ultimate and have a little brain break instead of being cooped up inside all day. but I don't really know what's happening. I don't think the actual ultimate season is happening, which is really sad, but aged out anyway, so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm really bummed because next year's my senior year, so it'll be my last year. So it'd be really sad if we didn't get to do anything. I guess there's some like very careful pickups and stuff starting to happen, but if we get a vaccine, on a more hopeful note, or if there's something that if there's a dramatic change and COVID's no longer an issue, I think we'll all be, especially the seniors, will be really excited and also really grateful to play with each other again. So hopefully, something exciting will happen in the spring. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Here's
everything
hoping.
got canceled right before the senior season, so that was a big bummer. My lacrosse season and frisbee season both got canceled.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Well, here's to 2021. Thank you both for joining us, and I think we can call it a wrap for tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank you
much
so
for
much,
having me.
Strat.